Okay, be honest, have you ever gone to karaoke, absolutely vibing to your favorite K-pop song? You've got the rhythm down, the high notes, kinda, down, but then you realize you have no idea what you're actually singing? Yeah, same. Or maybe you're at a concert, the crowd's screaming, the light sticks are waving, and your fave drops their biggest hit, you're singing along with all your heart, but deep down you're like, wait, what am I actually saying? Or even when you're just chilling with your headphones on, walking down the street, pretending you're the main character in a K-drama, yeah, it hits there too. Well, you just clicked on the perfect video. I'm gonna give you quick and fun summaries of SSERAFIM's most popular songs, so next time you're at karaoke, at a concert, or just daydreaming with your playlist, you can sing with not just confidence, but the perfect fearless energy. Let's go! This is a Selena's original song and it captures the intensity and struggles of a love that defies societal expectations. The lyrics narrate the story of two lovers whose relationship is frowned upon because of differences in social class, yet their devotion to each other remains unshaken. From the opening lines, the passion of her is clear and the longing is so strong that even the obstacles, parents, society, and financial status, cannot diminish it. The song insists that love itself outweighs external judgment. The chorus lines highlight the prejudice faced by the couple, as gossip and judgment circulate around them. Yet instead of shame or defeat, she sings with defiance and pride, reminding listeners that their bond is stronger than societal barriers. One of the most powerful declarations comes with the rejection of material wealth, where the song elevates love over status, affirming that emotional connection carries more weight than financial or social privilege. This sentiment deepens with a reminder that love, in its pure form, is priceless. By the end of the song, the theme circles back to resilience. Despite the whispering voices and the differences in society, the couple stands firm in the belief that nothing else matters but their connection. In essence, this song is both a love story and a social commentary. It reflects the pain of class division, the cruelty of gossip, and the limits imposed by tradition. Yet more importantly, it elevates love as a force that transcends money, judgment, and even family opposition. The song's heartfelt delivery makes the lyrics not just a tale of hardship, but also an anthem of hope, defiance, and the belief that true love is untouchable.
Act like an angel, just like crazy.
This song is a playful, rebellious anthem that celebrates self-expression, individuality, and the freedom to embrace contradictions. The song thrives on its contrast between innocence and boldness, starting with the striking refrain, "Act like an angel and dress like crazy." This duality sets the tone, blending sweetness with wild energy, showing that being multifaceted and unapologetic is its own kind of power. They paint a vivid picture of electrifying attraction and unstoppable energy, conveying how passion feels like a jolt of electricity, shocking the heart back into life. By mixing pop culture references with intense emotions, the song feels modern, cheeky, and deeply relatable. The lyrics also reflect the inner struggle of identity and control, revealing the pressure of societal expectations to tone oneself down. But instead of conforming, they defiantly answer with the world crazy, that it's redefined as freedom from limits, an embrace of boldness rather than something to be ashamed of. The song is both a celebration and a challenge, telling that it's okay, even empowering, to embody contradictions, to be sweet yet fierce, calm yet wild. There's also an empowering sense of female solidarity woven through the lyrics. It highlights how femininity itself can take many shapes, from soft and angelic to loud and rebellious, and that these different sides are not mutually exclusive. The song also acknowledges personal growth, suggesting a past of holding back or hiding desires. Now, however, they choose honesty and intensity, no longer denying what they feel or who they are. In essence, Crazy is a declaration of freedom. It dismantles the idea of being moderately anything, moderately wild, moderately ambitious, moderately feminine, and instead advocates for wholehearted living. By balancing playful imagery with deeper reflections on identity, pressure, and desire, the track becomes both lighthearted and meaningful. Ultimately, Crazy reimagines craziness not as chaos or weakness but as authenticity, power, and unapologetic self-love. Through its energetic rhythm and witty lyrics, it invites to break free from self-doubt, embrace their contradictions, and live boldly, angel wings and wild outfits included. This song mixes mythology, fairy tale imagery, and social commentary into a fearless anthem about breaking free from restrictions and embracing desire. The song is playful, seductive, and rebellious, challenging expectations of how women should behave, look, and feel. The track begins with a confession and a proclamation where imperfection and chaos aren't weaknesses, they're embraced with confidence and style. Even when life feels messy, they claim power and self-expression, rejecting the need to perform perfection for others. A recurring theme is the rejection of obedience and passivity. The lyrics point to the pressures placed on women to conform, but they defy this demand with a refusal to suppress emotions as an act of rebellion, celebrating authenticity over forced politeness. The mythological references, Eve, Psyche, and Bluebeard's wife, symbolize women who dared to defy rules, question authority, or seek forbidden knowledge, even at a cost. When the group aligns themselves with figures punished for curiosity and desire, reframing them not as sinners or victims but as trailblazers, the repeated boom mirrors both a heartbeat and an explosion, symbolizing excitement, rebellion, and passion. When they said that they wish for what's forbidden, it acknowledges the attraction of breaking rules, choosing freedom and fun over imposed restraint. The risk of this rebellion, instead of fearing failure, they embrace the fall itself, suggesting that freedom, even if it leads to mistakes, is better than safe obedience. By the end, it connects rebellion with joy, affirming that pursuing desire and breaking boundaries isn't just about defiance, it's also about living fully and having fun. Ultimately, Eve, Psyche and the Bluebeard's wife is both a warning and an invitation. It warns against the dangers of suppressing one's true self, while inviting listeners, especially women, to embrace curiosity, desire, and rule-breaking without shame. The song transforms the idea of forbidden into something empowering, not a sin, but a choice, a heartbeat, a boon that defines what it means to live freely. This song is a fiery declaration of independence and rebellion, a track that rejects conformity and embraces the idea of being unapologetically unforgiven. The song presents a narrative of empowerment, painting the group as outlaws who refuse to bow to society's rigid standards, instead carving their own path. From the very start, rather than running from the label of villain, SSERAFIM embraces it. The word becomes a symbol of strength, choosing self-determination over acceptance, even if it means being misunderstood. They claim that this defiance isn't temporary, but the start of something bigger. The verses expand on this defiance, calling out the discomfort their boldness creates in others. They identify themselves as the disruptors, the ones who refuse to play by someone else's rules. There's also a reflection on past struggles, recognizing vulnerability and past defeats, but instead of asking for pity, they emphasize resilience. Their scars become proof of strength, not weakness. A powerful part of the song is its invitation to others. This call builds a sense of community among outsiders, a tribe of those who refuse to conform. It suggests that Unforgiven isn't just about individual rebellion, it's about solidarity and collective empowerment, breaking limits together. Midway through, the song reinforces individuality in a key rejection of traditional gendered expectations, casting off the passive, obedient archetype of femininity and replacing it with bold self-definition. Toward the end, the group amplifies their unapologetic voice, reclaiming the right to be loud, visible, and disruptive, qualities often criticized in women, but here celebrated. Ultimately, Unforgiven is a manifesto. It's about refusing to apologize for ambition, rejecting restrictive roles, and celebrating the villain within. With its mix of rebellion, community, and defiance, the song turns shame into pride and exclusion into unity. By the end, it doesn't just claim to walk the unforgiven road, they invite everyone brave enough to join it. This song is both a declaration of strength and a philosophy of resilience, turning hardship into power. Rather than being delicate or easily broken, the group embraces a state of being that grows stronger under pressure, like a flame that only rises higher when fed with fuel. The song begins with its unforgettable mantra, "They are not fragile, not weak, but something new, unbreakable, adaptable, and ready to thrive no matter what challenges come." The verses detail the struggles and negativity directed at them. Instead of being crushed by gossip, betrayal, or competition, the group turns that energy into fuel, demanding, "Yes, gimme that." Adversity is not a downfall, it's an opportunity to rise. Imagery of fire and strength runs throughout the song, showing them as both fierce and reborn, like a phoenix who uses destruction to ascend stronger than before. Even symbols of delicacy are reframed as markers of a demanding journey, evidence that their grace is built on discipline and resilience, not fragility. The chorus crystallizes the message where falling is not failure, it's part of the process. They refuse the false comfort of safety and perfection, instead embracing risk as the path to growth. The fairy tale represents societal expectations of smooth success or fragile femininity, narratives they reject in favor of their authentic story. The second half of the track emphasizes defiance against control. They reject manipulation, instead asserting their autonomy and creative agency. As a rallying cry, reinforcing their refusal to be caged by limitations. They don't just resist breaking, they embrace the possibility of falling and rising again, unafraid of mistakes, stronger with each challenge. The repeated chant "anti-fragile" becomes not only a self-definition but also an invitation for listeners to claim the same resilience. In essence, Anti-Fragile is a declaration about transformation through struggle. It acknowledges pain and pressure, but refuses victimhood. Instead, hardship becomes strength, failure becomes growth, and opposition becomes fuel. They reframe fragility as power. The more they are tested, the more unstoppable they become. This is a song that peels back the glossy surface of confidence to show the tension between appearance and reality. At its core, it's about the invisible effort behind what seems effortless, the struggle hidden behind grace, and the determination to keep walking forward even when doubt and pain creep in. There's a paradox with the possibility of pain, mistakes, or vulnerability, but it highlights how their strength lies in transforming difficulty into beauty. The verses add layers of vulnerability and reflection. They reveal uncertainty and confusion, suggesting that even those seen as powerful struggle privately with self-doubt and direction. Jealousy, mistrust, and outside judgment follow them. The word seraphim, part of their own name, ties into their image as angelic yet human, radiant yet imperfect, balancing divine expectations with real emotions. There's a yearning to be understood beyond appearances. It's a plea for recognition of the effort and authenticity beneath the polished surface. The mention of a swan, graceful above water but paddling furiously beneath, is a perfect symbol of their duality. Even if their legs grow weak, they keep moving forward, embodying resilience and poise. It also reframes imperfections as part of their strength. Heroism is not about perfection, but about persistence despite vulnerability. They confront the misconception that their success came easily. As a correction and a revelation, the song is not just a performance, but a testimony. It calls out those who underestimate the struggle and discipline behind their achievements. The message resonates with a mix of determination and defiance. It becomes clear that easy isn't about a lack of struggle, but about mastery, the ability to transform hardship into something inspiring. The repetition cements the mantra. They embody effort turned into elegance, pain turned into power. In the end, easy is both a confession and a celebration. It admits to the hidden struggles behind the spotlight, but it also takes pride in the ability to rise above them and make the difficult appear seamless. The song humanizes the group while reinforcing their fearless identity. Even when it hurts, they keep moving, creating beauty from the battle. This song is a bold statement of ambition, confidence, and reinvention. From the very start, the lyrics set the tone of determination and self-assurance. Some lines establish the group's vision of breaking away from the past, focusing on growth, and embracing the intensity of chasing success. The song portrays a mindset of resilience, refusing to dwell on past struggles. They redefine themselves as powerful figures ready to rise higher without hesitation. They accelerate toward a future that's limitless, with no fear of obstacles or scars. A recurring motif is the rejection of outside judgment and expectations, confronting critics head-on, dismissing the gaze of those who underestimate or misunderstand them. Their fearlessness isn't just about bravery, It's about unapologetically claiming space in an industry that often pressures idols to conform. The track also challenges societal norms about humility and ambition. They reject the idea of suppressing their goals for the sake of appearing modest. Instead, they embrace victory openly with an unapologetic declaration that redefines ambition not as arrogance, but as empowerment. The song transforms into both a battle cry and a promise of triumph. Ultimately, Fearless is about transformation. It acknowledges scars as part of identity and turns them into strength. The message is clear: the past doesn't define the future, instead, it fuels a fearless pursuit of greatness. As the debut track of SSERAFIM, the song functions as both an introduction and a manifesto. By weaving together ambition, defiance, and empowerment, Fearless establishes the group's identity, unapologetically bold, unshaken by criticism, and unwavering in their climb toward the top. This song is a declaration of ambition, strategy, and unapologetic self-confidence. It portrays the group as clever, calculating, and determined to win, not by luck, but through foresight, resilience, and hard work. While many of their other tracks embrace defiance or resilience, this one leans into cunning intelligence as their weapon of choice, wrapping it in playful but sharp affirmations. The song begins by establishing their perspective. They see beyond appearances, quickly sizing up situations and people, and using insight to stay ahead. It's not only about competing but about mastering every move. Victory is sweetened by naming success as sugar. They reveal both craving and reward, emphasizing that triumph isn't bitter, but something they savor. Yet the pursuit isn't naive, it's deliberate, guided by strategy. The butterfly image highlights growth and transformation, symbolizing how they may start small but evolve into something powerful and beautiful. Midway, the lyrics take a more defiant turn, echoing the group's broader themes of rejecting conventional roles. Rather than embracing fragility or defeat as a beautiful narrative, they embrace being the villain, a title often used negatively, but here redefined as strength, autonomy, and control. It's an intentional rebranding of criticism into empowerment. They reinforce the effort behind their intelligence. Unlike the illusion of effortless success, they admit that meticulous planning and relentless drive power their victories. And they push back against those who might dismiss them, stressing that smartness is not just about brains but also discipline, timing, and endurance. They present themselves as masters of timing, able to seize opportunities in a fast-paced world without slowing down. In the end, Smart celebrates intelligence as power, not just raw emotion or rebellion. It reframes being strategic and cunning as admirable qualities for survival and success. By embracing the role of the villain when necessary, by rejecting luck as an explanation, and by calling victory their sugar, they present themselves as artists who rise not just by chance or beauty, but by sharp wit, relentless work, and fearless ambition. Okay, that's all the songs for now. Let me know if there are any other songs you'd like me to recap. Alright, now go show that karaoke room you're not just loud, you're lyrically powerful.
깜빡해서 꼴 보지 못해